Hello everyone, and welcome to Strategic Management of Multinational Corporations, Lecture Note 5, Resource-Based View of the Firm, based on the academic courseware by Professor Shihmin Lo. For decades, strategic management was dominated by external industry analysis. However, empirical studies reveal a striking truth. Firm-specific factors explain over 44% of performance variance, whereas industry structure accounts for less than 20%. Over the next 10 to 12 minutes, we will pivot from outside-in market positioning to inside-out resource orchestration. We will classify tangible, intangible, and human assets, unpack the 4 barriers to imitation, examine organizational capabilities through Porter's value chain, evaluate resources using Grant's matrix and Barney's VRIO framework, and explore Ricardian rents alongside Nanaka's SESI knowledge conversion model. Let's step inside the firm to discover the true engines of competitive advantage. The resource-based view, pioneered by Birger Wernerfeld and J. Barney, shifts strategy from analyzing market structure to managing internal assets. Landmark research by Richard Rumelt in 1991 demonstrated that business unit-specific effects explained 44.2% of return on asset variance, while industry effects explain only 4%. Robert Grant noted that in fast-changing environments, internal resources provide a far more stable foundation for corporate identity than shifting product markets. Superior firm performance stems from maximizing total surplus, either by boosting customer willingness to pay or driving down production costs through unique internal strengths. To appreciate why firm effects dominate, consider the classic rivalry between HTC and Apple. Both companies operated in the exact same smartphone industry, facing identical external market forces and component suppliers like Qualcomm and TSMC. HTC launched the world's first Android phone in 2008 and captured a peak 9% global market share in 2011. However, HTC lacked Apple's firm-specific intangible assets, brand equity, an integrated software ecosystem, and proprietary design culture. By 2017, HTC sold its smartphone engineering unit to Google for $1.1 billion. Industry attractiveness was identical. Firm-specific resources determined ultimate survival. Strategists divide resources into 3 categories: tangible assets such as cash and machinery, intangible assets like patents, brands, and culture, and human resources comprising employee skills and problem-solving abilities. Intangible assets yield the highest strategic value because they are difficult to copy or transfer. J. Barney identified 4 primary sources of inimitability: physical uniqueness, path dependency built over unique historical trajectories, causal ambiguity where competitors cannot decipher the exact cause of success, and social complexity embedded in organizational culture and trust networks. Taiwan's MediaTek perfectly illustrates the power of path dependency and intangible assets. MediaTek's competitive moat rests on an IP arsenal of over 40,000 global patents, a strong brand reputation among global smartphone makers, and highly efficient chip design methodologies. Over 80% of its 20,000 engineers hold advanced degrees. This accumulated 25-year design heritage enabled MediaTek's Dimensity 9300 flagship chip to compete head-to-head against Qualcomm Snapdragon at significantly lower development cost. Competitors cannot easily replicate decades of embedded chip design know-how. Having resources is not enough. Firms must convert assets into productive capabilities. A resource is what a firm owns. An organizational capability is what a firm can do by coordinating its resources. Just as a star-studded sports team can be defeated by a well-coordinated squad, business success requires organizational alignment. Capabilities exist in a hierarchy, progressing from specialized plant tasks and operational activities to functional capabilities, and ultimately to cross-functional capabilities like new product development. Michael Porter's value chain provides a systematic map for dissecting primary and support activity capabilities. Foxconn, or Han High Precision Industry, demonstrates how organizational capabilities serve as strategic moats. Foxconn operates over 30 global manufacturing campuses with 1.2 million workers. But its true advantage lies in cross-functional manufacturing agility, the capacity to ramp up iPhone production from 0 to 500,000 units per day within weeks. This requires flawless coordination across procurement, process engineering, quality control, and human resources. While competitors might buy similar machinery, Foxconn's 40-year accumulation of process routines and supplier networks creates an unreplaceable operational ecosystem for Apple. To evaluate internal assets, strategists apply J. Barney's VRIO framework. Is the resource valuable, rare, inimitable, and organized? Complementing this, Robert Grant maps assets on a 2x2 matrix of strategic importance versus relative strength. Key strengths must be aggressively deployed, while key weaknesses, where importance is high but strength is low, require urgent remediation, outsourcing, or strategic bypassing. Furthermore, strategists must consider appropriability, ensuring economic rents are captured by the firm's shareholders rather than being drained by star individual employees. TSMC's advanced semiconductor node process represents a textbook VRIN analysis. Its 3-nanometer and 2-nanometer nodes are highly valuable for global AI chips, exceedingly rare as only 2 foundries compete at sub-3 nm and non-substitutable for frontier hardware. Most importantly, TSMC's manufacturing is inimitable due to extreme causal ambiguity. Achieving high wafer yields involves thousands of interacting process variables that rivals cannot reverse engineer. This unassailable VRIN mode enables TSMC to maintain gross margins above 53% while earning substantial Ricardian rents. Finally, the knowledge-based view extends RBV by recognizing knowledge, especially uncodifiable tacit knowledge, as the ultimate strategic asset. Ikujiro Nanaka's SESI model explains how tacit knowledge is dynamically converted through socialization, externalization, combination, and internalization. Taiwan's Industrial Technology Research Institute, ITRI, serves as a national SESI engine. By externalizing research know-how into 25,000 patents and spinning off tech giants like TSMC and UMC, IDRI has incubated over 300 companies generating trillions in revenue. To conclude SMMC Lecture Note 5, true competitive advantage is built from within. Master your intangible assets, build cross-functional capabilities, and harness tacit knowledge. Thank you for watching SMMC LN5 with Professor Shihmin Lo. Stay strategic, and I will see you in the next lecture.